hard way. Using a screwdriver and lots of brute force. Or if you have a super cool dad who has a drill, you can put in a couple of pilot holes. Change the drill bit. To become a screw stick. And your screws up. Done. Now look what you've got. A breakout socket for anything with an octal plug on it. That means we can experiment with the modules in your system and see how they work, which will increase your knowledge and awareness of how you can combine these modules into bigger projects at a future time. Let's take a look.
Cool.
There's a number associated with each of these terminals that is also associated with the pins on the bottom of the octal socket. So that means if I tell you to hook 12 volts to 4 and 7 and take the output of 6, then you can just connect them right to these terminals. And guess what? That's what I'm about to tell you to do. So plug your AAPOO into your experimental socket, set it aside, and get out your chassis hardware and your little bag of wires. Okay, now let's go to the chassis hardware bag first.
Hold on.
Let's find a little connector we're looking for. There it is. That plugged it into the. Okay. So the connector is, see what it is? It's a little 12-volt connector, and it's known as a 2.1 millimeter connector.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
thought.
hard to see it.
Yeah.
Can you look at that? Now don't confuse it with these two things, all right? These two things are audio jacks. They look almost like this. This is just, the 12-volt connector is a little bit bigger than the audio jacks. And the way you know the difference is, hey look, in your package of chassis hardware, here's an audio wire. And the audio wire will definitely plug into the audio jack. See? So that's an audio jack. And here's another audio jack. So you get two of them. Definitely plugs into there. Okay? But if you try to plug in the power connector to the audio jack, it won't go. It just won't go. Alright? It's like a completely different species. But what does plug in to the power jack is this power plug. You have different types. I've sent some people this type and some people a plug with a wire on it. But the important part is what's at the end, right here. See? And what's at the end will plug into your 12-volt power jack. So this is the part we want right now, the 12-volt power jack. That's going to go on the chassis, and then you're going to plug your power into this. And then these terminals here will deliver the power into the rest of the system. So just take this out and put everything else in your bag back. Zip it up. And we're going to need some wire, hookup wire, and you're going to need a red wire, okay? And I'll tell you, I wish I had black wire, but I didn't have black wire. So, let's see. I guess what we'll use instead of the black wire is blue wire. Okay, so I gave you some blue wire. So we're going to have red and blue, taking the place of red and black. The rest of the wire can go back in your little bag. So keep you zip it up. Okay, I've added a few little goodies here to the table. Of course, we've got our two wires. They're going to be put on our power connector. And of course, we have our AAPOO that we're going to connect our wires to. But look, it's time to go get your power supply that's going to power everything. All right, it's in that little white box. It's in that white box. So, power supply is now part of our stuff that we're using. And then here's a wire stripper. This is a pretty nice wire stripper. So, I don't know if you have anything this nice, but any way that you have to strip the wire is fine with me. I also like to have my cutters, my little tiny diagonal cutters, and my needle nose pliers whenever I'm doing any soldering work or any electrical work. And I have a rubber band. And you'll see what I'm using that for in a minute. So, let's take a closer look at the power connector. Okay, here's a close shot of the 12-volt power connector. And there are 3 pins on this baby. Oops. Let me still see, right? There's the pin on the left. There's the pin on the bottom. Oop, there's the pin on the right. Okay, pin on the right, in the middle, and pin on the left. Okay, and that's with the orientation of the middle pin being on the bottom. So, with that middle pin is ground, and the pin on the right is 12 volts. And you don't have to worry about the pin on the left, it's not used for anything. So, we're going to connect our 12 volts between the bottom pin and the pin on the right. Strip of blue wire, about a quarter inch, 3/16 or a quarter is fine. Twist it clockwise, just to get all the little strands together. And let's say we're going to take, let's just take a few inches. That's all we need. Same amount from the red wire. Just measure it off and cut it. Strip both sides of both wires. Red wire. Spin your wires clockwise. You want to do it the effective way. Okay. We want to put the red wire on this side here. Stick it right through the hole. And get a hold of it, bend it back. So it's not touching any other connectors. Squeeze it with your finger nice and tight. And put some solder on. You know, I forgot to tell you to have some solder handy, huh? Have a hot iron. I forgot to tell you to have solder ready. Well, there you go. You guys are probably way ahead. Alright, let's put the blue wire on the bottom. It sticks right through. not trying to teach you how to solder right now. So if you don't know how to solder, that's another lesson, or you could learn that on the internet from your dad. That's a good thing. Make sure your solder flows. To get a good connection. And check your connections. That one looks good. That one looks good. If this were plugged in, if this were plugged in here, we'd have 12 volts on this. Isn't that cool?
It's very cool if I get this soldered.
Okay, so this is going to be fun. We're actually plugging this sucker in. Alright.
Wait a
This
minute.
is a 12 volt power supply about to get plugged in to 110 volts, and we should have 12 volts on the output there. Alright? There you go, it's plugged in. And if you happen to have a voltmeter, this is a good time to use it. Break it out. See if you can get a 12 volt reading. Put the red terminal on the red wire and the black terminal on the blue wire. Look at this. You can hold it like this with your fingers. It's not going to electrocute you. And if you can read that meter, it says 12.32 volts. Now, just a point of warning. When you're playing with electricity like this is DC voltage here, and it's not going to electrocute you, but don't ever let these two wires touch each other, okay? If this wire touches that wire or this terminal, or it's called a short circuit. If you short circuit these wires, you'll blow out your AC adapter, okay? This thing here. You can blow it out. You're going to have to buy another one. So, don't ever touch the wires together. That's one of the caveats. You have to be careful when you're experimenting. Don't blow up your building. So, we're finally ready to connect the power to the module. But let's disconnect it from the AC adapter so that we don't accidentally short the wires. And do you remember where they're going to go? The red wire is going to go to number 4, and the blue wire is going to go to number 7.
What?
Right? So you just need a Phillips screwdriver. So this is number 4. Slide it in there, underneath that plate that's underneath the screw. Screw it down. Put it on the left side of the screw. Okay? The left side of that plate. The other one is going to go right this way. The other one is going to go to this connector over here. That's labeled number 7. Try to see what's on number. Oh, 7's all the way over here in the corner. Twist it a little more if it doesn't go in. Slide it under there. Screw that down. Now, we're ready to apply voltage.
No, we're not.
AAPOO. And we don't have a tone out yet, so we can't hear it doing
Yeah,
it.
you don't even have a tone out yet.
We should see this LED light up, indicating that it has power. Voila! See that? Unplug it. The light goes up. Plug it in. The LED comes on. So we know we have power. And if we had pin number 6,